Hi, Megan LaCore from theartofmegan.com here to show you how to spin a single ply yarn from one ball of yarn into two plies using the Andean Plying method. Today we're going to start by wrapping what's called an Andean bracelet. This is what gets you to the point where you can use both of the ends of your yarn to be able to spin it into one double ply ball of yarn. So we're going to start by wrapping the end of our yarn around our wrist, and I'm just going to tuck it in. And that keeps it so that it's out of the way so that we can hang on to that one for later. We're going to start by just creating a loop around our middle finger, going up and over. We're going to crisscross around the front. We're going to go up and down. So you see we've got this little crisscross pattern going on the back of my hand right now. And then I'm going to bring that around to the front, up and around, up and around. And we're just going to continually do that until we've gone through this entire ball of yarn. What this is essentially doing is creating a series of loops on our hand that will unravel at the same time when we start to pull this into a ply. Now I'm just working with the center pull ball here that I've pre-wound. Now you want to do this loosely so that you make sure that you've got circulation room. This is also a really easy way to get a ball of yarn prepped for if you're double knitting. And I'm just going to continue on like this until this whole ball is wrapped onto my hand. Now that I've got a full ball of yarn wound onto my hand, I'm going to slip this up my hand so that I can get my middle finger out of there. And then I'm just going to slip it onto my wrist the rest of the way. But first I'm going to undo that little end from underneath. Now this is why they call it a bracelet. You can actually spin from here if you prefer, but I like to keep my yarns under a little bit more tension when I'm plying them. So I'm going to start wrapping this bracelet into a center pull ball just so that I have a little bit more control when I'm plying. Oops. Even that we had a weak spot on the end there. Okay, so we're just going to wrap this into a center pull ball. So I've got my two ends here. And I'm just going to continue feeding the yarn from the bracelet onto the ball here. Keeping my two yarns under tension as I unwind. The reason I like to wind my bracelet into a two-stranded ball is because I don't always have the opportunity to finish an entire spinning job in one sitting. So if I'm going to walk away from my project, at least my yarn is still under tension and I don't have to worry about my bracelet getting messed up. And that way I can come back to it whenever I get an opportunity. Now that we're to the end of the bracelet, we've got a really nice thing that happens here. We've got a loop that's created by our two strands. Now the cool thing about this is this means that we've got no waste. So we even up all the way down to the very ends and we're able to use everything on this ball of yarn. So from here I'm just going to wind on at the base of my spindle, go up through the hook, and I'm just going to create twist in the opposite direction of what our singles were spun. We know that we've got a good ply when we don't have quite so much kinetic energy. So all we've got to do if we've got too much twist is just reel out a little bit more yarn until we've got a nicer balance. So this looks about right. We've got a nice big yarn. So we will still have a little bit of twist. That will be worked out when we go to prep our yarn when we finish it. So I'm just going to wind that on and create a cop at the bottom of the whirl. The cop is the triangular shaped preparation of yarn underneath the whirl on the spindle. And from there we're just going to reel out a little more yarn from our ball and continue to move that twist up. Now that we've gone all the way through to our end, we're back to our little loop end here. Then I'm just going to finish winding this on. And I would process this just like any other yarn. So I would start off by wrapping it into a hank, tying it off with my embroidery thread, and then from there I'm going to soak it, hang it with a couple coat hangers on it so that it's weighed out and stretched, and that's going to help set the twist. Once it's dry, we can use it from there, or we can dye it and use it in a different color. So I hope you enjoy our new method of plying. Let me see if I can get a little end here to show you. Isn't that nice? Nice little plied yarn. So thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.